she is the chief instructor at the Sarasota Aikikai. It's also known as the 12th Street Dojo. And she got a particularly difficult position because that is the original dojo that Saotome Sensei came to in 1976. And she was invited to come and take, teach a few classes and then get on the roster. And then she became the chief instructor around 2016. And as I told her, I was very impressed. I got to visit that dojo a few times, and there are many people on the mat who were her senior by as much as 20 years. And they all were so happy to have her there. She is an incredible instructor. We've had her at my dojo to do a seminar, and it was incredibly popular. So I am more than pleased to turn the next half an hour over to Melissa Bell Sensei. Ganbatte kudasai.
Hey, thank you so much, Wendy Sensei. Good morning, everybody. I wanted to start by saying how privileged I feel to be a part of the event this weekend. It's always fun being part of any seminar, but this one in particular, the women instructor ones with this type of focus, always have a very special feeling. And for all participants, not just the teachers, not just the women, but everybody. And I hope that all of you will come away with that feeling as well. My goal today is to share with you a couple of things I've been thinking about with regard to generating rotational momentum and harnessing that power for your Aikido. So using your center and not using your limbs so much, although clearly you have limbs, probably you're going to use them. But I'd like to begin with a little bit of warm-up. I really believe in warm-ups, so we won't take too much time. If you have your Jo, you can warm up with your Jo. If not, either way is fine. Okay, so first, reach. Hang from your hips. And reach. And hang. Inhale. And one more. Turn your torso to face the floor and reach further. And circle around. And the other way. You can set your Jo down now. So you can put your forearms on the inside of your knees, and Kokyu gives you a little extra spread. Not too crazy, but we've got a good amount of practice today. Try to wake up the body. Knees. And now keep your heels together, but bring your toes apart so your feet make a V. Fix your posture upright now instead of here. And drop. So your heels come off, your toes stay on the ground. This is actually a posture exercise. So try to keep your torso from the hips up, just like so, to rise, and go down, rise, So first exercise, we're gonna start to explore the rotation just by, while keeping your forward focus, just by rotating your bottom half. So keep your torso and your attention and your head and shoulders facing forward, but let your legs and hips rotate, so, like so. Switch, switch, switch. Now you can put your front knee on the floor, not like this, lurching forward, but open the front of your hip and sort of just lower your knee to the floor. Pick it up, switch to the other side, open the hip, but keep your weight here over your feet. So feet, hips, shoulders, head, all aligned. And this part just goes. And pet the kitty. It's an important part of the process. So, and switch, 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 and stand. Relax for a second. So that's the first piece, like part of your body can rotate while part of your body remains still. Standing, that translates to a hanmi change. So if you take a hanmi, doesn't matter which one, I'm in left hanmi. Again, we're gonna just change hanmi. So in the front, so bring your feet together, up, and switch to go back. And the idea here, changing hanmi is something everybody's done forever, but the idea here is to look a little more deeply at this point in the front where you change from the left side to the right side, right? So something is rotating to get you around to the other side. You come up to one point, you're on your axis, and something rotates. And it's not your feet, because your feet are just together at this moment. But your hips turn a little, your center turns, your shoulders and your head mostly stay forward, they turn a little, right? But there's not that much outward rotation, but there's a very powerful inside rotation. And that's the part we want to pay attention to. So keep that as a data point. Here's the next data point. Everybody's done this rotation exercise, right? So you turn your whole body, and you let your arms swing. Turn your whole body, let your arms swing. Okay? No problem. So your arms, of course, naturally swing out. Okay, so next, keep your feet on the floor facing forward. Keep your hips facing forward. Keep your shoulder and your head facing forward, but still swing your arms. So now it's not your whole body that's rotating to create the swing in your arms, and yet something is still creating the swing in your arms, right? So it's your core movement, right? Your torso, your center control. And this can be very powerful. It can be just a little, like this, easy. It can be very strong. Strong enough that your hands blur out on the video. Strong enough that your belt starts to fling around. And it's at the same time, though, it's not turning. Keep your focus and your intention and your attention forward. And so this is the kind of this is the source of the power that we're trying to get to in today's exercises. Okay, so you found this place, you can generate some power. But what can you do with it? So it turns out you can, of course, the rest of your body can help with aim, but you can also, it's not just raw power, you can aim with it too. So far we've just been swinging our arms out in the horizontal plane right here. But you can also do better than that. You can choose a height. You can swing your arms up. Or down. By the way that you move, or if you like, by your intention that you have in mind when you move. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. And then you can do different combinations for practice. So we have a core movement and intention helps to aim. And you can choose the direction, high, low, middle, right? You can choose the trajectory, you can choose the speed, it can be easy, slow, super fast and sharp, sideways, up, down, however, all these different things. So learning to be aware of that and to utilize it, not just when you're standing still, but say when you're moving, like even a simple thing like a step, a change hanmi step, right? So regular change hanmi is here, your upper body's quiet, right? But also, when you change hanmi, you can emphasize rotation. So now you're a simple thing like a hanmi change, or any other step if you choose to explore it, can be much more than just a hanmi change, right? It can generate some power for you. So how does that apply when you have a weapon? Well, if you have a weapon, you want them to be unified with your body, right? Just you want to have a unity within yourself, like so all your parts can work together. And the weapon too, you want it to be not a separate thing that you pick up and manipulate, but you want it to be a part of your body that feels unified with the rest of you. So first, a simple exercise. You hold it in the middle. So all these exercises are designed to help you find your center control and your ability to generate and harness this power. And there are kata and techniques that you can apply it to. We'll get to that part in a little bit. But first, still just sort of exploring this feeling, trying to hone in on exactly where it is and how to use it. So hold the jo in the middle from here. And I'm going to transfer it to the other hand. Come out on the other side, that's all. So this is just my hands doing the work. My center is not involved at this moment. So, everybody got it? Okay. So then the next thing is start to rotate your body to send the jo around. The same way that we did with our arms. Just easy. We don't want to break anybody's living room. So just easy. So instead of just holding it away from your body, let it, can you see, let it roll across the front of your body. So it's not moving around out here in space, separate from your center, but it's physically and mentally attached. So it's actually rolling across the surface of my gi here. Boom. And it's not just rolling, my body's also going to start to roll it. So I send it. So now my arms are doing very little work. My arms are just catching the jo so it doesn't fly away. Boom, 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 boom. Now this is just horizontal. Of course, you can, once you get the hang of that, you can start to pick angles and directions. But for now, this is fine. Just get the feel for it. So if you can feel that even a little, then you've got the idea. Once you have the idea, then you can hone it. So this is the kind of thing that we're thinking about. And you can add hanmi change to it, right? Remember that a rotation is at the front of the hanmi change. So because you're moving forward, and back with the hanmi change, it starts to have a little bit of the rowing power in it too, because you're shifting your weight, right? To the front, to the back. So when you want to turn your rotational movement into a straight movement, like a strike, like a ski, this is one of the ways you can do it. Easy, 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 and then straight, straight, straight. So you start to give all this power you've created an aim. So you can aim it, of course, in round cuts, round strikes, or you can convert it to straight ones. So this is just working with the horizontal. So many of you have seen Jamie Sensei in her class yesterday referenced this exercise. So this is another one. Oh, by the way, if you're in a room with a low ceiling, another thing I've been thinking about, jo is of course a range weapon, but you don't have to make a giant circle with your jo. One of the amazing things about this weapon, right? It's the largest weapon that we in Aikido use regularly. It has this amazing ability to be a range weapon, and it has also this amazing ability to shrink and be just right here where we are, and not take up any more space than right here with your body. Pretty much, right? So if you have a low ceiling, you're still okay. The jo's not going more than a foot above my head. So this one, if you haven't seen it, you again hold the jo like so. And it looks like you're sending it over your shoulder, but and you can, but again, this is the idea if it's far away from your body. And we've seen already that when it's far away, it's kind of separate, and we're working on trying to make it unified with the rest of our body movement. So instead of sending it far away, send it right here, where you can comfortably and conveniently reach it. So my my holding hand, the grip is a little bit loose, flexible, and my underneath hand, it's not all the way back here by my shoulder. It's just underneath the tricep, close to the elbow, where you can grab it easily. So you're not, like trying to find it. Don't want to be doing that in the middle of a fight. So just right here. So just right here. right? So we're not using the power yet. First, you want to get the whole hang of the coordination, right? Some good bilateral coordination to try and get the feel for where it is. So you're not flinging your dough across the room. Hold on to it. Try to make it comfortable and easy. See how your body has to accommodate the jo, right? You want the jo to be making this circle, this rotation, but it doesn't need to go around, you. Sometimes you see this, right? The jo and me, we're together in the center, so I can actually move a little out of its way, right? So I tuck my elbow a little. So I don't have to, if my elbow's wide, I have to reach way over here to find it. And now my body is distorted and my posture is screwed up. So here. Same thing. I let my elbow tuck, my shoulder's soft, my grip is flexible, and it's easy to grab it. Boom. 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 Your hip might tuck a little too. Well, we're often changing hanmi when we do this exercise, so that gets your hip out of the way as well. Right? This is another expression of making room for the jo, so you and the jo can both together occupy the center here. Okay, so if you got this, then the next thing, right, is to focus it. So it's not just an exercise. When you do this, you want to think about, especially if you don't have a partner, as most of us don't at the moment, imagine somebody your height, a partner your height in front of you, and you want to be catching them just under the chin, just under the chin, just under the chin, just under the chin. Boom. So now it's not, now your swing is not carrying the same power all the way through. It's not homogeneous. It has a little extra inflection right there, right there, right there. So if you start to change hanmi while you're doing this, that moment of inflection as your jo crosses the center line, that's when you want to engage the center power. Boom. And boom, and boom, and boom, boom, boom. And your whole body comes into play, right? So it's partly this, and it's partly this, boom. And it's partly this, settle, right? So some rotation, some stepping up, but not just stepping up. Like I said, the day in the park, you're not just stepping up, you're stepping up. Right? And you time all those things to be exactly here. At the moment when you think you're going to have an impact. The rest of the time, you should be relaxed. Okay? Why it's not such a big deal to have a death grip on your jo all the time? Of course not. Just at the moment when you think you're going to need it. So, boom, 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 boom. There's a variety of other exercises that are along these lines. If you think you got the hang of this one with the uppercut under the chin, you can reverse it, go over the top. Over the top. Exactly the same path, but in the reverse direction. As before, get the hang of the coordination first. Try to feel that you and your jo are doing this together, so it's a part of you, not a separate thing. You think you got the hang of that? There's combinations. Go over the top, underneath. Over the top, bounce back. Wendy Sensei's class, she had us wrapping the guy on the top of the helmet and coming back for another strike. This could be like that. Over the top. except in her kata, over the top was repeated with another over the top. Ours could be that way, or it could be over the top and then underneath. There's a whole series of kata that we used to practice a long time ago. You don't see them so much nowadays, where it starts like this, then the other one can come under, or from here it can come across. So you have, from this position, you have straight, angle, angle, underneath, cross, and it easily switches to the other side. So then you have more. So you can, it's a fun kata series. Someday we'll all practice it together, I hope. But this is the first part of what I wanted to show you, right? So you think about your body rotation and how you can generate it even when your body stays mostly still. Your body can stay mostly still, but you can still access this power. That's rotation, and it can be sideways, can be vertical. You can use this same rotation is available in a Hanmi change. Boom. Really, any other time you're taking a step, you're always switching from right to left. And usually, usually when we walk around, we don't try to make ourselves aware of the power, potential power that's available in that change. But there is, right? Every time you take a step, it could just be a step, like you're taking a walk, or it could be a step. Boom. 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 However it is. So feeling that in your body, learning to coordinate it with your step, with your rotation, and focus it through your hands or your weapon. These are all the things that can really add a lot of dimension and depth to your practice. And none of them require physical arm and leg strength, right? So this is something that everybody has. And when you figure out how to put it into your practice, you're going to amaze your friends and relatives when we all come back and have partners. So and yet you can practice it while you're practicing on your own. So I hope that I've been able to give you all something that is useful for you and maybe helpful, or at least interesting for your practice on your own, and also hopefully useful when you come back and have a partner, whether you're practicing open hand or with. And
that was fabulous. Thank you so much, Michelle Sensei. Jacob, not yet. We're not done quite with Bell Sensei. So thank you so much. We'll see if there are any questions. I just wanted to say that I absolutely loved your class. And yeah, I did reference them a little bit yesterday. They're actually where my golf katas developed from. And just your presentation and how I'm going to use even more of what you have presented with my golf students. That was just really, really terrific.
Oh, thank you. I hope it helps.
Yeah. So let's see if anybody has any questions. Everyone, you're getting a lot of love, Melissa, excuse me. Fabulous class. Thanks so much. That was great. Okay, here's a question for you. How do you transition your vertical line from back to front?
Not 100% sure what that means. Vertical line. First closed chat window. Well, the front to back transition is most easily most easily compared with rowing. Now, a rowing exercise, full rowing exercise has a lot of, it's usually smooth, not sharp and sudden. So I would say this is, you take a little piece of your rowing exercise and apply it to this situation. So rather than the full, all the things, the full feeling of rowing exercise, just the part where you switch from the back to the front. It's at its most basic, it's just a weight shift from your back foot to your front foot. Back foot, front foot. But if you do it too gradually and smoothly, which is what we often do in Aikido, you don't get the generation of power. It's the short bursts of acceleration that create power when you're doing it. So when Sensei mentioned a 3-inch punch, boom. This is, if you can start to see your belt go, this is part of what sends it. So I would say rowing from this piece of the transition as you go back and before you go forward, that might be helpful in transitioning your power. I hope that helps.
Let's see, there are some other questions. How do you use rotational power with the bokken?
Oh, same idea actually. With the bokken, it's easy to, this exercise is good. This one where you come, it's a common saburi practice. Or if you're familiar with Sensei's Kumitachi number 3, it's similar. So this rotation, if you're starting in Geta Hasso, you're bringing your sword up, around, and down. Up, around, and down. This on the way up and on the way down, so that you're using your arms to lift your sword, and you're not using your arms to push your sword down. You're like, neither one of those is what you want, right? You want it to swing. So you just put the sword down and think about, what do I have to do to make my arms go like this? That's what's happening here. Right, a lot of this is, you have the concept in your mind, you can discover this. Ask yourself these questions, right? So it's something that all of us can continue to pursue if it's something that you find interesting for you to practice. Right, so find an empty room where nobody can see you and say to yourself, oh, if I wanted to swing my arms, make my arms swing this way, what would I have to do? And you can find it. Everybody knows it. If you were on a swing set as a kid and you wanted to go higher without having somebody push you, what did you do? Do you remember? Yep, like when you, you're on a swing, like, I want to go higher, I want to go higher, I want to go higher. Like, this is the thing, right? It looks different from beyond. But yeah, have a little trip to a swing set and check it out. It's the same type of concept applied in a more directed and focused way because we're martial artists. But this type of movement everybody's familiar with, at least you used to be when you were little.
There's a question about how would you apply this to a throw, to empty-handed throws, kokyo kinds of throws or whatever?
Well, it depends what kind of throwing you're trying to do. When I'm throwing open hand, I'm guessing this is the same for most of us, most of the time. You're not trying to send your partner out the front door. And if you are, hopefully they've built up the momentum to go, and you're just helping them direct it. Using this kind of power on a partner would be kind of abrupt as a throw. And so for me, I would not use that in a kokyunage, generally speaking. For sure not in a joint throw, kotegaeshi or something. That would be, if your partner didn't know it was coming, the potential for, the risk potential would be too high, I think, if I'm understanding the question. But I find this kind of power generation and rotation very useful when I'm the to attack. And when I'm the uke and I need to, as uke, I need to change direction suddenly and go somewhere else, move suddenly different. So it's very helpful for attacks. And it's helpful for me when I need to change direction quickly and move. So on the uke side, I find it very useful.
And maybe you could talk a little bit more about sort of where you feel like you start or generate that power from. To start from your foot, where do you really start in your body? And people are asking just to maybe slow it down a little more. They're feeling like pretzels. They're just loving this. So just, we got a few more minutes to break it down just a little bit more.
Oh, wonderful. So really it starts from the ground. So really it starts from the ground, right? But ultimately the earth supports everything that you do. And so when you want to, say we're doing this exercise here, I can feel very clearly the bottoms of my feet in the floor. Right? Maybe not gripping like this, but definitely activated. So if you can imagine with your hand, right? Your hand can just be your hand, or you can kind of flex it and make this space here. It makes a space here, but it activates all of this and here too. The same thing with your foot. It can be flat or it can be activated. So first thing is here. So you've got a good communication with the ground. Well, and then from there, you want to have a clear feeling of your center dropping. And so that when you switch even a little bit or a lot from one side to the other, you have a finely tuned awareness. Oh, I just switched a little to my back. Oh, I just switched a little to the front. Could be a lot to the back, a lot to the front, or a little. And then the sharp acceleration is part of what helps to generate power for me. So then it's not just move a little bit, but move a little bit and stop quickly. Boom, boom, boom. So there's a rhythm to it. And that's true for moving forward and back, and it's true for turning too. Boom, 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 boom. So it's not just that you're turning, it's that it's not gradual and smooth the way many of our emotions in Aikido are. It has the, just like with the strike, it's not smooth all the way, through. It has an inflection right on the center line where you think you're going to hit something. Not smooth all the way through, smooth, a little inflection, and then smooth the rest of the way. Right? Smooth, a little extra right there, boom, on the way through, boom. And when this happens, and this happens, boom, boom. So it's got a rhythm to it, right? So the ground supports your movement. You're drawing the energy up through your body, so it's all connected to itself. connected to your weapon, connected to the ground. And then when you move a little bit, the whole thing moves. You, the weapon, the ground, all of us, we move together. And that's powerful.
Okay, this is powerful. Excellent class. Everyone's really loving your class. Lots to work on. Wendy Sensei is so proud of you, she says, and we all are just have a lot to work with. So thank you so much. And everyone's also appreciating Kitty Dough. Aikido Dough. So let's
in the class, by the way.
Yes. Anyways, you can have a look at the chat, getting a lot of love and a lot of appreciation. And thank you so much. You've just given us so much to work on.